think he's a bit of a cunt. And I don't even know him. Why don't you want to have sex with me then? I really need a boyfriend. The gays, we're a certain type of breed. He wanted his dick sucked. Thought, fuck it, why not? Why not? Bella's pissed herself in the corner. Oh, she is actually weird. Hello and welcome to Agony Uncle. Hello and welcome to Agony Uncle. I'm your host, Elliot. I'm not your therapist. I feel like we should probably say that off the bat for legal reasons. I'm not your mother. I'm just your Agony Uncle, a soft place for you to land when you're in a bit of a sticky situation. This is your weekly emotional check-in comprised of breakdowns, breakthroughs, and everything in between. Kind of like an emotional spit roast, if you're into that. I'm going to be so honest, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, which kind of makes me the perfect person to give unsolicited advice on the internet. I figured everyone is either going through something, getting over something, or just outright pretending that they're fine, to which I say, fuck that. A problem shared is a problem halved. Each week, you lovely lot will send in your problems, situations, or questionable decisions, and we're going to talk about them, not fix them, because honestly, who am I to fix anything? We'll just talk about them in a way that makes them a bit more manageable. Some things will frame, some things will shelve, and some things will set on fire, emotionally, mostly. So, if you're overthinking, spiraling, or stalking someone you probably shouldn't be, you're in the right place. Right, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to episode 1. Like, how insane is this? I actually kind of can't believe that this is now actually a thing and I actually have to follow through this, unfortunately, because other people have actually invested money in this, so I can't quit now. So let's start with the weekly spiral. I'll just give you a quick rundown of things that have happened this week. Funny things, kind of. Number 1 on the list. So everyone knows I'm in Come Alive and we have kind of like a 45-minute pre-show before we go out, and every pre-show something bizarre happens. It was Sunday's pre-show, and these two little brothers come and sit down at this little desk to kind of like sign up to the circus. They were really cute. We called them what? Jolliver, I think. And they were like, right, we're gymnasts. And I was like, okay, lovely. Stand up then, show me your gymnastics. And one boy was like, yeah, sweet, I'll do a cartwheel. And the other one was like, no, I can't do that. And I was like, no, babe, you're fine. Just get up and do a cartwheel. Eventually, we kind of like convinced him to stand up. And as he stood up, his brother was doing a cartwheel and twatted him in the face. It was one of those moments where I was like, I probably shouldn't actually be laughing at a kid crying at being kicked in the face, but like, it was kind of really funny. What else has happened this week? One of my friends deleted a text and I literally nearly went through the roof spiraling. I don't know if anyone else gets this, but maybe it's like trauma resurfacing. If anyone deletes text messages, I think that I've done something wrong. And it was a whole thing. I go into a spiral, I'm like, what was that? Or I think it must be from like exes that I'm like, oh my God, you wasn't meant to send that to me. You're cheating on me. Which doesn't really work with friends, but the trauma's still there, I think. And I can't really unpack that because I think, oh, that was a nude. Or that was like a flirty text that you wasn't meant to send to me. You've deleted it. And WhatsApp tells you when you've deleted messages, which isn't really ideal. I don't love that. I really don't love that. I got reminded yesterday, our flat was all sitting on the sofa last night talking about, I don't know what, we were talking about like Ubers from the station and like the cost of Ubers, and Imi had got an Uber from Clapham to home and was talking about the price of it. And I was like, it's all right, babe, I've done an Uber from here to Collier's Wood before, darling, at 12 at night. And it was because I thought my ex was annoyed at me / potentially cheating. I've been surprised. So I got an Uber at 12 a.m, got there at 1 a.m. I was in a really dazed, anxious, attached state of mind. Wasn't great. We're in a better place now when I think about it. Anyway, yeah, that cost me 40 quid, that Uber. But anyway, yeah, I got reminded of that. And it was a funny story because then when it was put in the group chat the next day, everyone was really laughing. As you should, it's a funny thing. I was in a really bad mental way, and it reminds me, I'm like, that was really bad of me to like Uber to my ex's house for 40. I was literally in the Uber like this. Hey, I don't know if you're awake, but like I'm on the way. Like I'm just in the Uber on my own, like really contemplate. I'm going over Westminster Bridge, like this is London's lovely at night, isn't it? I'm really loving this. Meanwhile, I'm literally anxious about whether or not my boyfriend at the time is cheating on me. I get to the house, the flat, and I think I've sussed out what bedroom is his. I haven't, I'm on the wrong side of the building. And then I see 2 people walk past this lit room and I'm like, oh my God, he's cheating on me. Then realise I'm at the wrong side of the building. walk round, the bedroom lights off, and then I go home. Get another Uber and I just go right back home. Yeah, I got back at about 2:30 in the morning. 80 quid's worth of Ubers, I'd never get back there. Thank you very much, Charlie. Anyway, that's been my week. We'll move on to the Agony Inbox, which is the main core of this whole thing. This is why you're here. This is why you're here. So, we've got 5 problems to look at today, which is nice. It's a nice little amount. I've handpicked these because I feel like they're fun and they're interesting and they're good to talk about. Number 1, this is anonymous, 27, male. I've been with my boyfriend now for 3 years and I feel like the relationship spark is going. We've talked about issues before, but I still feel unhappy. We don't have sex at all, which is hard for me because I have a high sex drive and he says he just doesn't want to do it. I love him, but I don't know if I should stay for him or leave and work on me. Rough, I can't lie. I have actually been in this scenario and it was kind of coming up on 3 years as well. Maybe I wrote this. No, I didn't. I was 21 when this was kind of like happening to me. So I still felt like at the time I hadn't really had that much sex. So not having sex in the relationship that I was in was kind of really hard because you're like, well, I want to have sex with you. And especially when their sex drive isn't matching yours, it can be quite difficult. It is hard because you're in a relationship of 3 years. You're probably really, really comfortable. That's your routine. That's everything that you're kind of like used to. That's your person. Do you know what I mean? I feel like when you get to 3 years, it's a different kind of relationship. Like that's your friend, that's your best friend. Like they're so integrated in your life. It's really kind of difficult to go, well, okay, well, we'll just stop then because we're not having sex, because you can't really. I mean, well, again, I guess you could, but like it's down to you. I think as well, you need to take a step back and kind of look at how much sex means to you, because not that your sex life should be dying out at 3 years, but it's not going to be the same as when you were first dating. Naturally, that's kind of like the course of any relationship. It is still important to keep it alive. I do feel like you've got to change up your sex life every now and then because like it does get a bit boring. But you probably should look at that if sex is the main kind of key thing in your relationship. Like how important is it to you to keep that kind of like spark alive? But also like you're young. I think it's such like a two-sided coin that like, you know, have you sat down and really spoken to your partner and been like, why aren't we having sex? Like, is there anything that I can do to help? Not to like spark a thought, but like, why doesn't he have a high sex drive? Is the sex drive just not there? Is it kind of being used elsewhere? Like, it is kind of things you got to look at without kind of inciting any anxiety. If this was me and I've just said that to you, I'm literally going to go through the roof. I'm so sorry about that. But like, you have to think about these things. You know what I mean? Like, zoom out of your relationship and kind of go, okay, what can be worked on together to kind of like bring this spark back alive? My gut kind of is like, leave. But again, it depends how important sex is to you. For some people, sex is not important in a relationship. Like, the relationship you have with someone is more important than sex. It's personal dependent. If I turn around and go, yeah, leave him, babe, you should be having sex like so and so times a week, like that's not for everyone. Not everyone is having the same amount of sex every time. Like you can't kind of like base it off of that. But I would say, think about how important it is to you. Do you want to be having sex a certain amount of times a week? Have you actually sat and spoken to him and asked what's wrong? He doesn't want to do it. Why? Quiz him. You're allowed to sit down and go, why don't you want to have sex with me? You know, if you don't find your partner attractive anymore, also a completely normal thing. Like people grow separately. Like what you found attractive 3 years ago is not the same. Like you might feel the same as well. Like just because you're in a relationship, you kind of get the goggles, which is completely normal. If I'm going to be honest, I think you need to sit down really and like actually have a conversation about this, because I feel like there was many conversations that I had that were just kind of like weaving around the topic and it was never kind of like solidly spoken about. Sit down, have dinner, have a nice little evening, make a really chill, comfortable environment, and then go, right, why don't you want to have sex with me then? And just like get it out, just get the conversation out. I think sex is such an awkward conversation to have. Like I used to hate talking about sex, especially with my partner. Like, do you like that? Do you like it when I like touch you there? Like, it's so eggy. It is so eggy though, isn't it? Like, it's so eggy. But it doesn't have to be, like, if you just talk about it. That's my advice anyway, but honestly, who am I to judge? To wrap it up, sit down and have an actual conversation with your partner, for real. And talk about it. Like, relationships need to be worked on and spoken about. together. Sex shouldn't be treated any differently like any other relationship problem. Moving on. This one is from Hugsy, question mark, I don't know. 22, male. I'm young and gay. Teenage dream was fictional. I've started to give up on the concept of a happily ever after being a possibility for me. I had this plan as a teen, get a boyfriend by 24, engaged at 26, married at 27, kid at 28. I really want a kid here at 30, but seems harder and harder the more I learn about gay culture and just the world built for them. I'm openly out, but it's so bad, the dating scene. What's your take on that idea? I actually had a similar kind of like plan back when I was like 18, when I thought like everything was a fairy tale and the gay world was just sunshines and daisies. It's not. It's rough out here. I'm 26. I'm turning 27 this year. Fuck me, I'm not married. I haven't even got someone to be married to, let alone a kid at 28. If you're telling me that I'm going to have a kid in 2 years, no. I will literally laugh at the idea. But like if you told 10 years ago me that I'd have a kid, they'd be like, oh my God, that's the best thing ever. Because 26 is really old and you should have a kid and be married. Wild. I think you need to scrap that whole thing. I get the idea like teenage dream was really fictional. I kind of really get it. Like I didn't really have any teenage flings. I came out at just before I was 18. So like where a lot of gays have that kind of like, you know, story of like, oh my God, I lost my virginity when I was like 14 and like with this man that was like 29. Weird, by the way. I didn't have that. So like I had that fictional idea of like, oh, well, like having a boyfriend at like so-and-so kind of age and, you know, and I really get the fantasy, but like you have to kind of accept that that is what it is. It is a fantasy. But at the end of the day, like following that kind of pathway isn't really a thing anymore. I feel like that's quite old. And I think that's also quite like a heterosexual idea of relationships and storylines and life. And, you know, I'm a performer. So like that timeline will not work for me. I'm thinking about whether or not my body's going to hold up at 27, not whether or not I'm getting married. Again, it depends on your job, but like, is that realistic? Also, do you want it to be realistic? Like, I think the past few years, life has really focused around like, you have to have someone. You really need to have someone. Get yourself a boyfriend, get yourself a girlfriend, whatever. It doesn't have to be. Like, the past few years for me, in between like dating people, I was really like, oh my God, I really, really need a boyfriend. When like, you don't. You really don't. Like this year and the end of last year, I've never been, oh God, it's that really cringe thing of like, I've never been happier. For like Cassie out of Euphoria, and I've never been happier. That's how I feel. No, no, I'm not crying really. But I have, like, I actually genuinely have never been happier single. And I'm turning 27 this year. Help. Help. So I don't think that timeline's really important. I think you should honestly scrap that timeline, if I'm going to be completely honest. I know it sounds so cringy, but you're 22, and without sounding condescending, you're really young. And like, I would have hated someone saying that to me at 22, but like, I thought I was grown. I thought I was grown at 22, and I was not. I was not even halfway there. Focus on yourself. Date. Just date people. Go on dates. Get taken out for drinks. Buy someone a drink. Like, go enjoy fun things with you and your friends. Don't let dating be this whole kind of like thing that's like overbearing and kind of really being a key goal in your life. And you've got other things to focus on, no doubt. Like 22, finishing university, if you're doing that, like, I don't know, focusing on a career, like anything else. Like, I found that people come along when I'm not thinking about it, which is so hard. I think like it does take time to get out of the mindset of like, oh my God, I need a boyfriend. I'd love a boyfriend. Like, focus on this. It's summer. It's going to be getting dark at like 9 p.m. and you want to go have like a bevy at the beer garden and your phone's like pinging. Like, where are you? When are you getting home? Having a beer at the beer garden with your friends. Fuck that person. This is your goal, Hugsy. This is your goal that I want you to focus on. Just enjoy being yourself and having no one else to kind of like work on or focus on for the next like 2 months. If you want to go on a date, go on a date. Don't stop yourself, but like don't let it be a kind of like key point in your life. Otherwise it gets really boring. Life will get boring if that's what you focus on. So to round up, I think absolutely scrap that fictional timeline. I really do understand it. I think it's a really kind of like pretty outlook on life, like to have that kind of like goal. But I think kids, relationships, marriage aren't things that you should put goals on. I think career aspirations and life aspirations, they're things that you can put goals on, not relationships, because they're so up and down. They're segments that add on to your life, not key points, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. Next one. Avery, 19, male. They're all going to be male, let's be honest. You're all gay if you're watching this, probably. But I will always tell you if it's a male or female. I'm 19 and can't find love. I'm gay and I know that this environment, a lot of guys just don't care. I'd like to be perceived as a lovable person and not someone you can project your fantasies on. Am I the problem? No. Thank you so much. Thanks for writing in. We'll leave it there. No, I don't. You're not the problem at all. Again, like Hugsy, without sounding condescending, you're 19. You're so young. You're so young. Please do not spend the next few years of your life focusing on boys. Just enjoy life. You're 19. You're so young. Go out and hook up with people. You're 18. You can go clubbing. If you like clubbing, go clubbing. I don't, so I can't relate. Go clubbing. Go kiss a boy at a bar. Go kiss a boy in the park at a festival or something. I don't know. But like, you just need to go out and kind of experience life. I really understand the gay scene is actually horrific sometimes. And obviously we don't talk about it because why would we? But we are the problem most of the time. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we're the most inclusive, exclusive community that there is around, and we just always kind of like pussyfoot around that idea. But at 19 you should be going out enjoying time with friends. Like, you are a lovable person if that's what you are. Like, I don't think you should worry about being perceived as a lovable person by other boys. Like, if you're a lovable person, that's exactly what you are. Like, I don't think you should stress about that. Just keep being that. Like, the right person will come along. And also at 19, again, like, I know a handful, and I mean a handful, maybe like 3 people that have been in relationships since they're 19. Like, it is a rare thing to kind of like start dating someone at 19 and then be happy ever after. Like, it's doable, of course it is. I know Toby and Mikey, they've known each other for years and they've been together for years, and like, they're so happy together. But like, them and probably like 1 or 2 other people are the only people that I know that have kind of gotten together when they were so young. So you don't have to stress about it being a kind of like solid relationship from you're 19. It's not happened for everyone. Like, I've had, God, a handful of relationships now, and I'm 26. You know, like, they don't all last. And I think as well, like, it is really easy to kind of get lost in what other people or how other people perceive you at that age, because like, especially growing up now, again, oh my God, I literally sound ancient saying this, but you're growing up in an age that is so built and like focused around social media and like what you look like on Instagram and like what you post on TikTok and like everything like that. And oh my God, it's hell. I didn't even grow up in that age and I experienced that kind of like anxiety around that. That's not normal. That's actually not normal. Like, did you go out when you were younger and like play Knockdown Ginger or something? Like, did you do that? Like, I feel like you probably should have done that when you were younger. That's the kind of like, that's the growing up that I had. Without sounding condescending, you're growing up in an age that's built around social media, and like, you post on Instagram and Snapchat, and like, God forbid, I remember when I had Snapchat, I was counting snap scores. I was counting snap scores. Do you know what I mean? Like, please tell me you're not doing that. Don't be doing that. Please save your mental health. Don't do that. That's really bad for you. Ben's laughing in the background. We've probably held in laughter for about 25 minutes. I'm surprised we've even made it this far. Knockdown Ginger. What? Not do a run. Not do a run. Knockdown Ginger. I don't know. What did you call it?
I just thought you meant you went around punching ginger.
No, when I say Knockdown Ginger. When I say Knockdown Ginger, I don't mean running around knocking and punching gingers, by the way. That's just what we called it, like knock door run or something. I don't know. That. We're losing track of the main point here, Avery. I'm so sorry. Let's get back on track. Are you the problem? No, you're not. I think, if I'm going to be completely honest, you're young. Enjoy that. Just enjoy life at the moment. Like, the therapy that I had at the beginning of the year, one of the main things that I took away from it is that, like, everything that you think and feel is just you experiencing life. And at some point, when you actually kind of realize that, you're going to get a high out of it, because you'll be in a bad thought or in a really happy thought and just go, fuck, I'm actually just experiencing life to its fullest because this is what I'm feeling. You are probably, from what you're saying, a lovable person. So like, spread that love to your friends, your family, like people that are closest around you. Like, it doesn't have to be a boy. go out and date, go out and like meet people, like meet new friends, and like someone will come along. Fuck off dating apps. I mean, sometimes they do work, but like sometimes they don't. But if I'm completely honest, you're right. Most of the guys don't care, but there are guys out there that do care. And that's the kind of key thing. Most of the time when you're looking for it, it won't come, unfortunately. Focus wholeheartedly on you and someone else will come along at some point. Please do not stress. Moving on. T, 28, male. I've been cold turkey off dating apps for about 2 months, even Grindr, wild. I'm chasing a career I'm actually passionate about, but being around friends who are in relationships and having fruitful sex lives gives me massive existentials. Have you got any advice how I can navigate through that? I'm assuming that you were an avid user of Grindr because you put that in the brackets and you've said that you've been off dating apps for 2 months, which, you know, get it. Do you know what I mean? I think, if I'm honest, these two things can exist at the same time. You can focus on your career and yourself and have friends that are also in loving relationships. Those two things can happen at once. Two truths can live here. Do you know what I mean? It kind of feels like bitterness is the wrong word, but almost kind of like a hint of jealousy, that even jealousy feels like the wrong word. Maybe like yearning feels closer to what I want to say. That you want that as well, and also have the career that you're kind of like working on, which is so fine. Like you can, but I do get it. Like sometimes being around people in relationships can be really like, help me, help me. They're making out again, which is really rough sometimes, especially when you're single. I like the fact that you've kind of gone cold turkey on dating apps for a few months. I think sometimes you do need a break. I don't know how long you were on them before, but I think sometimes stepping away and then coming back to them whenever you want feels nice, because then you get a kind of like fresh look at things. How can you navigate through that? I think a lot of it is acceptance, if I'm going to be completely honest. It's accepting that you can have your life focusing on work, yourself, and whatever else is kind of in focus for you, and your friends can have that too, and should. So should you at some point. Also, it makes me question, you're chasing a career, which is so like, you know, get it, girl, get your career. But how much of yourself are you putting into it? Like, are you really losing yourself in this career? Are you actually giving yourself time for yourself to have someone, if that's what you want? Again, I'm just kind of like reading between the lines. Yeah, like, are you actually giving yourself time to like live outside of your career? Like, get it, get your career. But also, you only live once. I'm a wholehearted believer of like, you really do only live once, so you should really live everything to the fullest. So if you're kind of like working 9 to 5, 5 to 9 for this career, does the rest of your life fit in the gaps? Navigating through it, yeah, I think just going back to the acceptance of like, you can have that and they can have that at the same time. They can both exist. Boundaries as well, setting yourself boundaries. How much time are you spending with these people that are in relationships? Maybe have you got any like single friends? Maybe find yourself some single people to hang around with. That's always refreshing. I feel like finding someone who's single that you can hang around with is really fucking refreshing, because you can talk about the things that you've got. There's no like consistent, oh my God, they did this, and oh, we're going away here, and oh, we're thinking of doing that. Shut up. Shut up. Let's just talk about how hard dating is sometimes, and let's just fucking get on with it. Find yourself some single friends. Go on some few nights out, maybe. Or it doesn't even have to be nights out. Find yourself something to go. There's a fair few like gay socials now as well. If you're into fitness, I know Gaines has a run club. They do kind of like high rocks kind of things on a Friday. You've got gays big day out, queer quiz nights as well. Like that's another thing on like a Thursday. Find yourself some single friends, set some boundaries, and just accept that those two things can exist at the same time. Moving on. This is our last one for the Agony Inbox. This is a wild name, and I'm probably gonna laugh. I don't know if this is real, but like, if this is real, and this is your real name, like, so fair. Wilma Fingerdoo. So, Wilma Fingerdoo, 26, male. Went on a date with a guy last week, which was so lovely, and meeting again this week. Then bumped into someone at the weekend and got chatting. Had a very spontaneous date today, which went well. How do I know when is the right time to pick one? Ooh, that's kind of hard. I've never kind of like had Two people going at the same time. Good for you. Good for you for having two people going at the same time. That's dating. That is actually dating, though, when you kind of think about it. You can only decide who is the right person for you. I think you need to go on more dates with both of these boys to kind of establish like who is right. Like you are in the dating period. Again, I feel like the gays, we're a certain type of breed. Some gays are married after the first date. Some gays aren't. They're not even married when you're married, if you get my drift. Maybe go on more dates with both of these boys. Do things that you love as well. If you love like fun activities, do some of them to see who kind of gives better vibes. I love doing fun things. So like, I don't know, arcade. What's it called? Like putty. What is it? Golfing. Not golfing. That's too straight. What is it? Crazy golf. That's it. Crazy golf. Fun activities like that. Do you know what I mean? Not paddle. I mean, you can do paddle. Love me a bit of paddle. But do some like crazy golf. See something that's fun, basically. And see who kind of like fits in your vibe. Like you will only know if they're the right person if you spend more time with them. Like I don't think it's a bad thing to date two people at the same time, as long as you communicate. You don't have to tell them you're dating both at the same time, but it does get tricky when sex comes into play. So if you are having sex with both of them, make sure it's safe sex, make sure everyone is safe. And that's when you should probably be honest about the fact that you're having sex with more people. Again, spend more time with both of them and see who kind of fits with you better. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like at the end of the day, who you date is completely up to you. Go on a few more dates and then make your decision. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Will my finger do? Will your finger do? So moving on to the next segment, which is shelved. I wish I had a shelf, but I don't. But it's called shelved, just to let you know. So this is where you send in your kind of like crazy stories that I just get to read out and share, which I love. It's probably my favorite thing ever, reading out your crazy stories, because I feel like I don't really have that many and I'd love to have more. So you can fill in that gap for me. The general premise of shelved. So if we frame it, then it's iconic. Well done, babe. That was fucking iconic. If it was put on the shelf, then you just needed a bit of a shoulder to cry on. Do you know what I mean? And if we set it on fire, fuck me, putting it in the bin, never do that again. Do you know what I mean? As long as we're on the same page. So this is the first one, our first story. This is anonymous, 30, male. So back when I was about 21, 22, I lived in London. I'd just gone through a tough breakup and decided I needed a change. We've all been there, babe. I went to heaven for the first time in my life. And as a young, recently single gay man from the north, it was like a sweet shop. Babe, I bet. I found myself getting attention from a guy who I can only describe at the time as being like a Greek god, yet he was Argentinian. He was basically way out of my league. Don't put yourself down. He was giving me attention all night and we decided to leave together. And what I thought was going to be the best night of my life turned into an absolute nightmare. So, gays being as promiscuous as they are, we decided we couldn't wait to get back to mine or his and decided to leap the fence at Queen's Park. R.I.P. Mom. As I'm putting my leg over the fence to jump to the other side, I find the sole of my Doc Martin as lodged in between the metal fencing. I was clearly too drunk to be climbing fences. I'm still laughing at the R.I.P. Mom. Bearing in mind they put that. I didn't think of that. But like, R.I.P. the Queen. As I'm trying to unlodge my shoe, I fall, and no word of a fucking lie, the fence post penetrates my trousers and then my arsehole. Fast forward to the next morning and I'm in hospital with severe bruising of the rectum that lasted several weeks. I was very lucky Her Majesty keeps her fences freshly painted. Alas, did not put the hunk of an Argentinian off and I saw him the next weekend. Slay. I'm going to frame that. I want to frame that. That's actually really fucking iconic. Although, bruising that lasted several weeks and you saw the Argentinian the next weekend, did the bruising get worse after that experience? Because ow, the gates at Queen's Park, aren't they like really high? Am I thinking of the right park? Isn't that like 6 foot high poles? That's not high. 6 foot's not high. That's high for me. I'm 5'7". Jesus Christ, you look Lara Croft climbing up the side of a building. Okay, no, I'm going to frame that. That's actually really fucking iconic. Well done, you. And well done to the Argentinian for not being put off. Did he go to hospital with you? Oh, God. That would have been icky. That would have been icky. Yeah, we're framing that. Well done. The next one. David, 28, male. Random crazy story, but I once hooked up with a guy in London. Chill vibes, nothing crazy. Around a month later, I went on a work trip to Romania. Wild. Decided to go on Grindr, as you do, and there was a guy around 5 minutes away who wanted his dick sucked. Thought, fuck it, why not? Why not? Got him over, did the deed, and then a few days later, got a message from the London boy who was like, did you hook up with a guy named in Romania? I was like, yeah. Turns out it was his best mate from home who he's known since school. Small world, eh? I mean, we are talking about the gay community here. It's a very small, tight-knit community. Pardon the pun, tight-knit. But, like, come on, everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows everyone. Even if you're in Romania, apparently. The net is cast wide. Look, it is kind of iconic, but at the same time, it's probably quite normal, actually. Everyone knows everyone. We'll shelf it. I like it. It's not quite as iconic as getting Her Majesty's pole up your arse. We're going to shelf it. Thanks, David, hun. We're going to put that on the shelf. That's all I've got for shelved. That's all we've got. So if you've got more crazy stories, like, send them in, because I think they're fucking hilarious. You lot are wild. Wild. So please send in. I know you've got crazy stories. Send them in, please. This is my favourite section, I think. We're going to get the gavel out. The gavel is out! Thank you, Erin Mitchell, for getting me, like, look at that, cunty gavel. Welcome to Chaos Court. This is so fun. I'm having a great time. Right, on today's episode of Chaos Court, we've got a little story here. This is sent in from Alex. I shall read. For our friend's 30th birthday, our friendship group has booked a weekend away to celebrate. Everyone has agreed to the whole thing and the Airbnb is booked and paid for. Side note, there's 6 of us and the Airbnb can hold 6. Now, the little getaway is in 2 weeks and one of the boys from the group, let's call him Mike, has decided to get back with his ex. The whole reason they broke up is because he's extremely toxic, mass manipulator, and he cheated. Not ideal. Obviously, the group doesn't like him because he cheated. 2, he always caused drama at prees before going out. That's not what we want. And 3, he once cried outside of Freedom, claiming everyone hated him and was against their relationship. Probably the only time he's ever been right. You're not wrong. Now, this is where the shit hits the fan. Mike wants to bring his dickhead of a boyfriend along with him to the birthday trip because, and I quote, we're in a really good place now and I don't want to leave him behind. If anyone is telling you we're in a really good place now, they're lying. They're in a really, really bad place. The birthday boy has said absolutely not, to which I agree. Mike is saying that we should support him and Bella feels a little bit called out right now. Did you send this in? No, she didn't send this in. She's not got 6 friends. Mike is saying that we should support him and it's already been paid for, so he can just share a bed with him so it won't make a difference. And to top it off, he's calling us immature for excluding him. The group just wants a peaceful trip with no drama and no awkward energy, especially because we're celebrating a birthday. The real icing on the cake is if we don't let the ex come, Mike is threatening to not go. What the fuck? I'm going to be completely honest. The 3 things that you've listed about the ex, he's an arsehole. We know that. He's an arsehole. In my personal opinion, do I think the ex should go? No. Absolutely fucking not. Because he's an arsehole. I don't agree. I think he's a bit of a cunt. And I don't even know him. I think Mike needs to grow up a bit. I'm going to be completely honest. But I think as well, he's probably in a sticky way. Mike, if you're listening to this and you know that this is about you, you need to leave your boyfriend. And you need to go away with a group of 6 friends and have a really nice time and celebrate your birthday, the person's birthday. Alex, look, if Mike is going to choose that is his decision, that he's going to not go if his ex isn't invited, then that's down to him. I'm sure he's an adult. If you're 28 and it's his 30th birthday, I'm sure you're all around a similar age. He is an adult and he's making adult decisions. And if that's one that he's going to want to make, so be it. Also, maybe an intervention about the boyfriend. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a sit-down chat needs to be had. Ruling. Anyone that is caught crying outside of Freedom is revoked rights to having +1. Get over it. And that's that. That's Chaos Court. That was my favourite section. The cunty gavel can go away. Erin Mitchell, I love you, thank you. That's coming to the end now of the first episode. I've absolutely yapped my fucking brains out. What's something soft to land on that's really kind of cute? Oh, this. This has been like an idea in my brain for like months, and the fact that it's actually finally been pulled out of my arsehole is great. So if you want to send in your own submissions, then go into my Instagram bio, go through the link, my Substack link, and there's a link there. Or I'll just try and make it easier somehow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. That's so weird. Hi guys, like, subscribe and follow and leave a comment down below. Love to you all. If you've managed to make it this far, wild boots, wild teas for making it this far. Don't message your ex and have a really great week. Bye.